The US dollar is the third currency to rule the world. The first two are dead. In the year 2000, when the world's government saved money, 72 cents of every dollar was American. Today it's 57, and it's still falling. Last year, central banks bought over 1,000 tons of gold. They're not doing it for fun. Russia, China, and India are building a new way to pay, one that skips the dollar completely. Sounds impossible? The British thought so too. Their money ruled the world for 100 years. It died in 1 week. This is how a world currency dies, and how close the dollar really is. It's happened twice before, and both times it followed the same 5 steps. The throne. How one small city's coin ruled the world. 1 week in 1956. The day the pound died. The coup, the trick, and the verdict. How much trouble the dollar is really in. Near the end, I'll show you the one number that tells you when a world currency is about to fall. To understand what's happening to the dollar, you have to meet the first king. It wasn't a person, it was a coin. Amsterdam, in the 1600s. A city of barely 200,000 people. But its ships carried almost half of Europe's trade. In 1602, this city invented the stock market. 7 years later, it built something even bigger, the Bank of Amsterdam. Back then, money was metal coins. Every cities were different, and half were fake or shaved thin. A guilder in that bank was a guilder, full stop. No fakes, no shaving. So merchants from London to Istanbul started writing their deals in Dutch guilders. Not because they loved the Dutch, because it was the safest, easiest money on earth. Sound familiar? And that's the rule. The world picks one money. Whoever runs the most trade and breaks the fewest promises wins the throne. For more than 100 years, the guilder was world money. Then the Dutch broke their own rule. The bank started secretly lending its coins to the Dutch East India Company, the biggest business on earth, and it was bleeding money. The books became a lie. Then, in 1780, war with Britain crushed Dutch shipping. Everyone ran to get their coins back. The coins weren't there. The guilder didn't die in a battle. It died the day the world stopped believing the number. Remember that, because the same test is coming for the dollar. 1956. London still believes it owns the world's money. And for 100 years, that was true. At its peak, half of everything the world bought and sold was priced in pounds. But 2 world wars had emptied Britain's wallet. The empire was broke. It just hadn't said it out loud. Then Egypt's new leader, Nasser, grabbed the Suez Canal, Britain's oil lifeline. So Britain and France attacked Egypt. October 31st, 1956. Prime Minister Anthony Eden expected a quick win. He got a bank run. Everyone holding pounds started selling them. The Bank of England was losing gold and dollars every single day. Britain needed a rescue loan, fast, and only one country could write that check, the United States. And President Eisenhower said no loan, unless every British soldier left Egypt. Washington wasn't just refusing help, it was using the dollar as a weapon, openly, in front of the whole world. Britain held out for 1 week. Then it ran out of money and gave in. The empire didn't lose a battle. It lost the ability to pay for one. The pound didn't vanish that week. But that's the week the whole world saw it was already dead. That's how the throne changes hands. Not with a war, with a phone call about money. So here's the question that should worry Washington today. What happens the day someone says no to America? So how did the dollar pull off the coup and get away with the very thing that killed the others? It started at a hotel in the woods, July 1944. The war is still burning. Money men from 44 countries meet at a mountain hotel in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. America holds all the cards. It has most of the world's gold and the only big economy not in ruins. And it's about to play them. So they sign a deal. Every currency ties itself to the dollar, and the dollar ties itself to gold. $35 for 1 ounce of gold. That was the promise, carved in stone. Or so everyone thought. The pound needed 100 years in an empire to win the throne. The dollar sealed it in 3 weeks at a hotel. But there was a catch. America could print dollars. It could not print gold. Vietnam, the moon race, a mountain of new spending. America printed and spent and printed. By 1971, there were far more dollars in the world than gold to back them. France went first. President de Gaulle started sending dollars back. "We'd like our gold now, please." Others followed. On August 15th, 1971, President Nixon went on live TV and broke the promise. No more gold for dollars. The window closed. Overnight. Now remember the rule. The guilder died when its promise broke. The pound died when its promise broke. The dollar broke the biggest promise in history. And nothing happened. It kept the throne. Want to know what the world really thought of that promise? Watch the price of gold. In 9 years, gold went from $35 an ounce to over $800. And yet the world kept using the dollar. Why? That's the trick. And it's the next part of the story. Here's the trick. It might be the smartest move in the history of money. 1974. The dollar's gold promise is dead, and the whole world knows it. Oil just jumped 4 times higher in barely a year. From about $3 a barrel to almost $12. So in July 1974, America sends its money chief, William Simon, to Saudi Arabia. Quietly. No press, no announcement. The deal in his briefcase will hold up the dollar for 50 years. America's offer: weapons and protection. In return, 2 things. Keep pricing your oil in dollars, nothing else, and park the profits in American government bonds. The Saudis say yes, and soon, nearly all the world's oil is priced in dollars. Was it all one secret handshake? Not exactly. Parts of it stayed hidden until 2016, but the shape of it is real. Now think about what that means. Every country on Earth needs oil, so every country on Earth needs dollars, whether they like America or not. The dollar wasn't backed by gold anymore, it was backed by oil. The throne isn't standing on trust, it's standing on barrels. Which is exactly why you should watch what's happening right now. Because the barrels are starting to move. So here's the verdict. How much trouble is the dollar really in? First, the honest part. Nobody is replacing the dollar tomorrow. But stay with me, because the warning light is already blinking. The euro holds about 20 cents of every dollar the world saves. China's yuan? Barely 2. There is no ready successor. That part is real. But remember the rule from the start of this video. The throne rests on trade and on promises. In 2022, America froze Russia's dollar savings, around $300 billion, locked with a phone call. Every government on Earth watched that happen. And some of them thought, one day, that could be us. That's why the barrels are moving. Some Russian and Iranian oil now sells in yuan. BRICS is building its own way to pay. They're even testing a unit backed by gold. Which brings us to the number we promised you. The one that tells you when a world currency is about to fall. It's not the dollar's share of world savings. That falls like sand in an hourglass. Too slow to warn you. It's this one. How much gold the world's central banks buy each year. Before the guilder fell, the smart money quietly moved out. Before the pound fell, central banks quietly moved to dollars. The insiders move first, and they move quietly. For most of the last 50 years, that number sat around a few hundred tons. For the last 3 years, around 1,000 tons. Every single year. Gold doesn't pay interest. It doesn't need to. Gold is what you hold when you're not sure about the king. The guilder needed a war to fall. The pound needed 1 week. Nobody knows what the dollar will need. But when it starts, you'll see it in that number first.